we built with sweetness and kindness. The show, there was no central character on that show is what I realized. The central character was love.
Full House stood out, even in a time full of family-based sitcoms. It wasn't just the lack of a central character, it was the type of family it portrayed. It wasn't just about a mom and dad, but a found family of friends. That made it relatable to non-nuclear families then, and even more so now, when the definition of what makes a family is changing. What Full House didn't always do was remain consistent. Many of the characters' names and histories tended to shift as its run continued. Keep watching to learn about Full House bloopers and secrets. The original concept. Jeff Franklin originally wanted to create a show called House of Comics. It would center around 3 stand-up comedians sharing a house. ABC wasn't interested. They wanted to cash in on the trend of popular family-oriented shows of the time, like Family Ties. Jeff reworked his original idea into Full House. Casting. Bob Saget was always the first choice to play Danny Tanner, but he already had a job on CBS's morning program. John Posey filled in for him on the pilot until Bob lost his other job and his schedule opened up. Lori Loughlin, who played Becky, was only set to appear in 6 episodes. Her character became so popular, they made her a regular. Scott Wagner's character, Steve, was set to have an even smaller role. He was to appear in only 1 episode, but then they made him a regular character as DJ's permanent boyfriend. Dave Coulier met his first wife, Jane Modian, on the set of Full House. She appeared as an older version of Michelle in a dream sequence during a season 3 episode. They had a son and were married for 2 years before splitting. Jodie Sweetin was one of the only actors who didn't technically have to audition. Jeff saw her on an episode of the sitcom Valerie and decided she was perfect for the show. He wrote the part of middle sister Stephanie specifically for her. Catchphrases. Joey's popular catchphrase, "cut it out," was from his time working with Mark Sandrowski in a comedy duo. He told his friend, quote, "I'm going to steal that. I'm going to use that someday." He did, bringing it to a Nickelodeon show called Out of Control. It was his hook there and later on Full House. DJ also had a catchphrase of "Oh my Lanta." Candace says she came up with it herself, saying,
"I never wanted to say oh my G-O-D on the show, so I used to just say in my personal life, oh my Lanta." So I think a babysitter of mine would say that all the time, and I just loved it. So I just asked the writers if I could say that instead, and it became a thing.
Dogs. There's a long-standing rumor on the internet that the dog who played Comet on Full House and the one who played Buddy in Air Bud are one and the same. This isn't true, but they do have a connection. Buddy played Comet one time. The dog who permanently played Comet also became a movie star in a movie called Fluke. Dogs unfortunately ruined a few cast members' dreams of taking home beloved props.
I took the Mr. Woodchuck puppet.
Yeah, my favorite.
I still have him. My dog ate his face.
I took my pillow person, which is no longer around. It was very sad. My dog chewed it up one day.
Name changes. The names of the Full House family are iconic, and that's why it's odd that they changed throughout the series. Jesse's original first name was supposed to be Adam. John didn't like it and changed it to Jesse. It was a fitting tribute to the twin brother of the character's idol, Elvis. His original last name was Cochran. It changed to Katsopoulos in the 2nd season. The move was supposedly an attempt to draw on John Stamos' Greek heritage. It also allowed them to bring in his extended Greek family. Steve also got a last name change. His name wasn't revealed until season 5 when he was called Steve Peters. When he becomes DJ's permanent boyfriend, his surname is changed to Hale. Danny the Clean Freak. The 4th episode of season 1, The Return of the Grandma, shows the entire house in disarray. Danny is panicked, but only because his mother's coming and the dishes aren't done. The house remains messy for the rest of the season. Danny's well-known neat freak tendencies don't show up until season 2. So what changed? Was it a visit from his mother or a sudden onset of OCD from the trauma of losing his wife? The Full House layout. A show with house in the name should pay a bit more attention to how its home is laid out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be at least possible. There are many confusing elements in the Tanner home. There's a staircase with 1 upstairs and 2 downstairs entrances. There's the question of whether the attic could exist because it doesn't show up on the outside shots during the theme song. There's also the reasonable question of how Danny could afford such a luxurious house. It was estimated to be worth $725,000 in 1990. How did he earn that on a reporter's salary? On that note, where did he find the cash for the many renovation projects seen throughout the series that the cast remembers so well?
Danny always stayed in his own bedroom on the 2nd floor. Then
Eventually we turned the basement into Joey's room.
The attic became a recording studio for Jessie.
DJ got her own room, which was, I think, Michelle's room, which is weird because we had an extra room with Jessie. There's an extra room there. Why didn't Stephanie, DJ, and Michelle all get their own room after Jessie moved into the attic? Huh, interesting.
Forgotten relationships and babies. Love may be the central character of Full House, but its characters' relationships don't always stay consistent. Take the season 4 episode, Happy New Year. Joey gets signed up for a video dating service by his friends. He matches with a beautiful woman named Christine. They hit it off and even discuss eloping, but decide to take it slow. What's odd is she's never heard from again. Even a relationship that lasted for a few episodes was dropped. Deborah Sandiland played Danny's girlfriend Cindy for 3 episodes in season 4. Her son Rusty has difficulties seeing his mother date again, but eventually accepts it. Then they're both never seen again. The show even goes so far as to forget discussions about children. The season 7 episode Room for One More shows Becky and Jesse deciding if they should have another baby. They decide they should, but the decision is never brought up again in future episodes. It wasn't until the reboot series Fuller House that they discussed expanding their family again with adoption. Congratulations, Grad Or Not. Full House also had continuity issues. Season 4 of Full House shows Uncle Jesse getting invited to his 10-year high school reunion. He then flashes back to his graduation. That contradicts later events in Season 6. He admits he dropped out in Episode 6, Educating Jesse. He returns to school and later graduates in Episode 19, Subterranean Graduation Blues. It's an inspiring story, but one that contradicts previous events. Kimmy's siblings. Full House seems willing to throw small relationship storylines to the side. That might help them keep track of how many members of each family there are, which they can't seem to do with the Gibblers. DJ's best friend Kimmy has a different number of siblings depending on which episode you watch. She might say she's an only child. DJ might bring up 3 sisters. She might mention her older brother Garth or say she's the youngest in the family. The reboot adds even more confusion by adding another brother named Jimmy. The Olsens. John admits he wasn't a fan of the famous twins who played Michelle at first. Their crying and tantrums ruined takes. It became too much, and he urged the producers to fire them. They tried a few stand-ins who were even worse. The Olsen twins were kept on the Full House set because they were the ones who cried the least. That didn't mean they were easy to work with, though. They often had to be bribed with candy, their favorite treats being red gummy bears. Despite it all, they did show personality and talent from the beginning. Ashley later said,
Mary-Kate is not more tomboy, but she likes more sports and everything. And me, I like to dance instead of go play football. And she likes to horseback ride, and I like to dance, do ballet, jazz, and all that stuff.
That's why Mary-Kate was used for sassier scenes and Ashley for more emotional ones. They were credited as one child to keep the audience from knowing the show used twins up until season 8. Dirty jokes and pranks. Dave was known for his unpredictable and unbearable gas. They're a recurring feature on gag reels for all 8 seasons. He was also a major prankster. He would occasionally make entrances with no pants, hide in the bleachers, or laugh too hard at jokes. All the adults on set couldn't help but enjoy a bit of adult humor. When the camera wasn't running, they'd make dirty jokes in their downtime to stay entertained. They didn't realize their behavior was being displayed into the child actors' dressing rooms. It got them major scoldings from parents and producers. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite episode of Full House? Let us know in the comments section below.